Hey there, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here, and today I'm upgrading my dash cam setup in my truck. I've had this Viofa one, it's been great. It's just a front-facing one though, and the quality's decent, but it's just okay, right? So I've looked at a lot of different brands and stuff. There are a few of them that, kind of pop up time and time again. I hadn't really heard of this one, but I was really impressed with the specs. So I picked up this Vantrue Nexus 4 Pro. This thing is a combo front-facing dash cam inside of your vehicle-facing dash cam. So it has two cameras built into the front-facing camera. And then it also has a 1080p backup camera. So this one's 4K, this one is 1080p for the backup. So it's got really good specs. It looks awesome. And I wanted to unbox this for you, and then I'm also going to be installing it. So again, if you want to learn more about this dash cam, how to install it, what comes in the box, and see everything, stay tuned.
Where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip.
Alright guys, so we are going to unbox this Vantrue front and rear dash cam. I kind of started to open this and then I was like, wait, I need to do an unboxing because this thing's actually, it's like Apple quality packaging. And I was actually really impressed with it. And I love when companies do like a nice job of packaging their stuff. So of course they've got QR codes and stuff on the end so you can download, the app really easily. Just nice things, nice little touches all the way around. It does have this little sticker that you peel off, which again, I already did. And then as I started to open it, I'm like, hold on, let's save this for everyone. But so as you take this off, it's actually kind of like a really fancy sort of shoebox. So that kind of slides off. It's nice and orange and stuff in here, so it looks really nice. You get this sort of quick start guide that shows you how to wire up the back cam and how to wire up the cord from the power. So just sort of a quick start guide, which is really nice. Then this is the main camera, the main sort of body of the dash cam that's going to go up front. So again, then this is going to be your actual camera, right? So this is going to be the one that faces forward. This is the one that faces backwards and records inside of your cab. But it has this really nice sort of large screen on it. So I do like that you can sort of see what's being recorded. This camera is adjustable too. So again, you can get it to the right angle so that it's recording what you want inside the vehicle. And then of course you just arrange the camera itself with the mount to get the front facing one where you want that as well. Now again, they've got things really clearly marked here, which I like. So this is where you plug the rear one in and then run it to your back camera. On the bottom here, you've got a number of buttons. And the really cool thing is that they give you this sort of quick start guide that was stuck over the screen that tells you what these buttons do. So on the very end here is your power on off button. You can also click that to take a snapshot really quick. So if you needed to just really quickly take a picture, just boom, hit that big orange button. On the bottom here, you've got a picture of a video camera, and that is basically recording on and off. If you tap that quickly, then that will turn your recording on and off. So you can just turn that off if you don't want to record something, or turn it back on if you had it off previously. If you long press the button, then that actually turns your screen on and off. So if you hold the video recording button for a long time, then it will actually turn off the screen. Then you've got this little triangular looking button on here. That is actually your mic on off. So short press turns your mic on and off. So you can turn the audio on and off. If you just want to record video and no audio, you can do that by tapping it really quickly. Now with this other arrow button here, that is actually switch cameras. So if you tap that, short press it, then it's going to switch between your cameras. So whatever displays on the screen, maybe your backup camera, maybe your front facing camera, maybe your interior camera, but that allows you to switch between them so that you change what you see on the display. And then this last button here is a combination of menu/Wi-Fi. So basically, if you short press it, then that's going to bring up the menu, and then you can engage with that on the screen. Or if you long press it, then that's going to turn the Wi-Fi on and off, which is what allows your phone basically to connect to it via the app. Okay, so the next thing that we have here is your little backup camera. So it's got this nice little 3M spot, so you can use this just to stick it wherever you want. Again, it is sort of adjustable here too, so you can turn this thing to get it to the angle that you want. It's got a cover on it that you want to remove when you install it. But then basically there's a USB-C on the end of here, which is what you're going to use to attach your long cord to it. And then of course that connects, like I mentioned, into the top of this where it says rear. So that's how you connect it to the main body so that you can see it displayed on the display and also get power to the camera. Then over here, as sort of displayed on this box, is your power stuff. So I like that they broke that out. It keeps your stuff from getting scratched up, and it just makes it really easy to find everything. Everything's been really clearly marked, which I like. So then this big bag in here, I'm assuming is going to be your power cord. And it is. And it's quite a long one too. Now, again, I like that it's USB-C because my old one was USB-C, so I may not even have to rerun a power cord. I may just repurpose the power cord that I already have installed and run through all my trim because it's USB-C, which is really nice. Then they also give you this nice little trim tool. So nothing super fancy, but just will make it easier to sort of pry apart the plastics around, say, your door trim and things like that to get the cord run and sort of hidden so that it's out of sight. These are basically a few different 3M adhesive pads. So you get a big one and a little one. So you can use this to attach the big camera. You can use it to replace the little camera. Say if you had to move this, the backup camera at some point, or you messed it up, you've got a spare in there. So that's a nice touch too. Then under the foam here are your sort of long extension cords. So these are going to be what you're going to use to hook up your rear camera to the front main camera. Now this thing is really, really long. So it's a USB-C to USB-C. So again, it's not proprietary, which I like because if you lost it or if you needed a longer one or whatever, you could buy anything that's USB-C to USB-C on Amazon, for example, and replace that cord. But this thing is really long. I'll put how long this is up on the screen here. And then you get this really nice instruction manual, which again makes downloading the app really easy, tells you everything that you should have gotten. And then of course you do get a USB-A to USB-C cord. This is actually just for data transfer. So this is for if you wanted to hook it up to your computer, you can plug the USB-A side into your computer, and then you can plug the USB-C into the camera itself, and you could use that to transfer videos and stuff like that off of the camera to your computer. Now, they also give you a microfiber cloth that you can use to keep the screen clean. So if you get fingerprints on it, you can clean it off. They give you some nice little like adhesion promoter wipes. So again, to get this thing to stick so that it doesn't come down, that's important. Another tip, and I'll show you this when I'm installing it, is I like to use a heat gun on the outside of the glass just for a few seconds to kind of heat up that adhesive and make sure that it sticks really good. They do include stickers. I probably won't put these on because they're pretty ostentatious, but if you were worried about like theft or something and you wanted to say, hey, I'm recording everything that happens around this car, if you had an Uber or something like that, and you wanted to have these stickers, you could put these in that says, you know, hey, my car's protected by Vantrue, and I'm recording all the time, which is kind of, that's an interesting thing to have. But I mean, it would be nice if you had, again, like a public car, or a car you had to park in storage for a long time or things like that. And then we do have one more piece here, and I believe this is the actual mount bracket. Yep. So this is the mounting bracket that you're going to use to actually mount this thing to your windshield. Again, it's got 3M on it, but then you do have an extra. So you have an extra for the main mount, for the main camera, and then you have an extra for the rear camera. So again, if you mess something up, or if you wanted to install this in a different vehicle, then you've already got a backup 3M adhesive piece that will fit perfectly on this thing. But again, I'm going to show you the install here in a second, but basically this thing is going to clip into here. You're going to use that adhesive promoter stuff to clean your windshield, make sure that everything's good to go. You're going to stick this on, hold it on really tight for, you know, probably 20, 30 seconds just to be safe. And then again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with a heat gun just for a few seconds to make sure that really gets melty and sticky, and then let it cool down and adhere really well to that windshield so I don't have to worry about this coming down once I have it in place and pointed the way that I want it to go. Now, one thing to point out is that this is adjustable. So again, you could, you know, turn this whichever direction you want. It does sort of have like a ball swivel head. So again, you can get this thing just angled exactly how you want it in your vehicle, stuck up there. You know, you can pull this thing off so that you can easily mount this without the weight of this thing sort of, you know, pulling on it and making it harder to mount. Make sure that this thing's mounted really well, and then just stick this thing up just like that, and you're good to go. But so now let's head out to the truck and let's actually get this thing installed. All right, guys, so we are inside the truck. As I mentioned, I had this Viofo before, and it's a great little unit, it does well, but it's only the front camera. I think that you actually can add some back ones too, but again, this camera just faces forwards, sticks to your window, and then basically just faces forward. So you don't get anything inside the cabin, you don't get the reverse, which is why I wanted to switch to the Vantrue. But I'm getting ready to install the Vantrue here, and I wanted to show you a couple of things that are pretty cool about it. So one, it is USB-C, which the Viofo was also, so I don't have to rerun all my wires. My power cable is already run up through there and then through the pillars and everything. If you have a newer Frontier and you want to know how to do this, it's pretty straightforward, but I did do a Viofo video. It's kind of coming down a little bit up there in the corner, but you basically just kind of use the trim tool that they provide, which is nice, to pull up the trim just a little bit to stuff that cord up underneath of there. And then I ran it down through there, and then I ran it down through the A-pillar and around the outside of the glove box, and then it goes up underneath of here and comes out over here. and plugs into my splitter here. Now again, you can do a hardwire kit. There are hardwire kits for it. And eventually that's going to be my plan, is to do just a hard wiring so I don't have to mess with the DC plug. But if you don't want to mess with that, this is super easy, right? You don't have to wire anything or do any sort of electrical. You literally just plug in a USB-C to a port and you're good to go. So anyways, let's get this thing installed. You know, the cords are already run, so all we have to do now is just get this thing up here. One really cool thing that I noticed, I wondered why this, like the mount had these metal prongs on it. The power in for the main unit actually goes through the mount. So the mount is where the power actually connects. So you're going to connect your DC right there to the end of this mount once you get it up there, and then you're going to snap the Vantrue camera on there and then get it all lined up. Same with your internal camera. You're going to, you know, adjust it and angle it to where you want it on the inside of the vehicle. And then you're going to hook up your rear USB-C here. Now I will have to run that. I'm going to have to run it up. Maybe I'll go around this side and then down the pillar and then back through and then back to the back. And then in these trucks, there is a hole in the firewall back there that runs into the bed. So that's kind of my plan, is to run the extra USB-C all the way through the truck, out through the back, through the bed, and then to the rear view camera. Now, my truck obviously is equipped with a rear view camera already. My problem is, though, it gets blocked a lot when I haul a bike or when I have a bunch of stuff, you know, back there. So my plan for this one is I'm actually going to put the rear mount camera up on the bottom of my rooftop tent. So I am a camper, and I do have a rooftop tent up there. But then I'll have a higher view so I can kind of see more. And the nice thing too is, since you can turn this on, you know, while you're driving or whatever, if I want to see if there's cars behind me, eventually I am planning to switch to an enclosed cap. And then in that situation, I'm not going to be able to see very much back there. So having this extra camera will be really nice to be able to see behind me, almost like a rear view mirror, when my rear view mirror is going to be blocked. Already you can see I've got a fridge back there and a bunch of other stuff, so my view is pretty narrow. But so having this extra camera will just give me a wider view of behind me, which I really like. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mount the main camera mount up here out of the way. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe right in here-ish. We'll see. Since I'm going to be using it as a rear view camera, I just don't want to block too much with the GPS up here already. I don't want too much going on up here. My old camera was just behind the mirror, but it didn't have any sort of like display, so you couldn't really see anything. So I need to find a spot that's not going to block my view, get that mounted up there, and then get the main camera thrown on, and then wire up the reverse camera, and then we'll kind of come back here. So I'm going to get a lot of the work done rather than bore you with that, and then we'll come back and I'll kind of show you the end result here. Another thing that I wanted to point out that is really, really cool is this end. So on this end here, it says SD card. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the heck? How would you get an SD card in here? And then I'm looking at the instructions here, and it does kind of give you an idea. This is actually magnetic. So it's just kind of on there with a magnet and then like a retaining strap. So this whole piece actually comes off the power button, just has sort of a little knob on the back of it, which is what hits that power button right there to actually turn the unit on. But then that's where your SD card is, and it's also where your reset button is. So if you ever have to reset this thing, if it's malfunctioning or anything, you can pop this little magnetic cap off the end, reset it. You can, get to your SD card if you need to remove that for any reason. But then it just kind of only fits one direction, and once you get it in there, then it just kind of clips down and just magnetizes to it and becomes part of the unit again. So that's pretty cool. All right, so as you can see, I've got it all wired up here. So you can see the interior camera there where you can kind of see my face. Then you can see out in front of the vehicle, it'll track your speed. I mean, there's a ton of different options and features built into this thing, which is really, really cool. I'm not going to run you through all those features right now because one, I just got this thing, and two, it's in their manual. So I will put a link in the description down below, both to this camera. So if you want it, that'll make it really easy to find, but then also to their manual, which is online as well. So if you have any specific questions about like the details or how to do something, those should all be answered in that. But again, just wanted to kind of show you what the quality looks like. I do not have the rear camera mounted up yet, and I will explain why. There's a grommet behind the back seat. It's really kind of tricky to get to. So, and it started raining, as you can see. So I just kind of paused on that. So I'm going to wire that here when the weather gets a little bit better, and I'll let you know how the rear quality is, but I'm sure that it's good too. But you also don't have to run a rear camera. So if you didn't want to mess with wiring that up through your car and maybe out your trunk and all that stuff, you wouldn't have to. Again, in this truck, it's pretty easy. If you do happen to be installing this on a brand new Frontier, I'll kind of show you how I ran the rear cord though, because I've got it all the way behind my back seat, just again, not out the grommet into the back. But so it comes out of actually the top of the camera here is where that plugs in. And then I just ran it right up underneath of my headliner up here. And again, that tool that they provide is actually really, really nice because this thing's really rigid. A lot of them that I have, they kind of bend and stuff, but this one's actually very stiff and sort of hard and rigid. So, and because it's flat and not super bent like a lot of them, it made sort of pushing this up in there really easy. And it also made it work like a pry bar to pull this apart. So Basically, if you want to see the wiring, I ran it up through the headliner, and then I got it behind this A-pillar plastic here, and then it comes over and it goes back behind the weather stripping, runs all the way back here. I got it down underneath of there, and then the same thing went up over the weather stripping and then down the back behind the seat. Again, wiring is super easy. I mean, they're just USB-C to USB-C plugs, so it makes it really simple. If you can get access behind your seat and it's not pouring down rain, then you can run that out through your grommet. If you're in a truck, if you're in a car, it could go through your back seat into your trunk, etc. There's different ways to wire it, but all you have to do is just basically connect that USB-C to the small backup camera and you're good to go. So anyways, I hope that is helpful for you. I am going to show you some footage of the app here so that you can kind of see the controls and what that looks like. So we'll get into that here in just a second, but that is what the camera looks like. That's how I wired it. And at the end here, I'll give you my sort of final thoughts on it. So basically, you go into your Wi-Fi, you find the Vantrue, and you enter the password, which it gives you the password in the manual. Then once you've put in that password, it's going to connect by Wi-Fi. So you hit start here, make sure that it has the right permissions, and then you just wait and it's going to connect. And as you saw, it connected really fast there. And then I've got a live feed. You can take a still shot by hitting that button on the left. If you hit the icon to the right, it will switch cameras. So again, between your backup camera, your interior camera, and your front-facing camera. So you can switch back and forth. So again, you can remotely kind of see all the features and all of the options that you have on your device. So there I hit stop recording and it's asking me for access to my photo library, but then it's going to store it in here and you've got a whole album of all the videos that it's made, all the pictures that you've taken if you've hit screenshot at any point. So again, the app is pretty user-friendly and it's actually really easy to use and you've got a ton of functionality. Now, of course, from the SD card here, you can download videos, you can see videos, you can trash videos. That bottom right corner there with the arrow down is your download, so you could save that to your phone if you wanted to. So the nice thing is you don't even have to pull the memory card or anything like that. You can just grab the files straight out of the app. All right, guys, but that'll do it for the Vantrue dash cam, backup camera, interior camera. I mean, I just really like how fully functioned this thing is, right? Like, it's got a lot of really nice features on it. It's got good quality video. But anyways, this thing is, you know, it does great video. It's going to be good for shooting videos and stuff on trips for me, but it's also going to be just nice to have something as protection. If I were to get in an accident or something would happen, just have some sort of a backup so that I have some proof, some evidence of what happened, you know, in that accident. So again, I hope that was helpful for you. Link in the description down below to this actual camera itself, and I'll also try and find the hardwire kit for you. I'm sure that they have one, or if not, there's a universal one. So if you didn't want to mess with the plug, then you could hardwire it, which is what I plan to do eventually once I get, you know, the weather stops or starts cooperating. It's starting to get sunny now, so maybe I'll be able to do this later. But anyways, I will put a link to the camera down below. I'll also put a link to the instruction manual, the full-fledged instruction manual that they have for this. So if you have any specific questions, you can get in there and kind of see everything. But I hope that was helpful for you. If it was, click that like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to click the subscribe button, click the bell to be notified when new videos drop. I do a couple every single week. So if you're looking for gear reviews, general like camping and overlanding tip videos, Nissan stuff, because I'm a Nissan guy, I've got a brand new 2023 Frontier, that kind of stuff, there's tons of content here for you, and I'd love to have you. Also in the description below will be links to all my other social channels, so where you want to hang out, I'd love to have you. There's also a link to my website where I've got funny camping, overlanding themed patches and stickers. So again, if you're looking to kind of outfit your vehicle for camping or overlanding, there'll be tons of fun stickers and patches down there for you to check out. Then also below this video is the join button, which is kind of a new thing that I'm trying, where basically if you want to support the channel just in a passive way, no pressure whatsoever, but if you do, that gets you some early access to the videos and things like that, gets you some special perks, but you don't have to do anything. It's just really passive. Then also in the description below is a link to my Patreon page, where we've got a 24/7 Discord. We kind of chat all the time. We do a once a month call. We're doing a couple trips every year. So again, if you want to be more active with all things overlanding, that may be a good place for you. And then last but not least, there is the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group. Totally free to join. Almost 15,000 members in it at the time that I'm recording this. And it's kind of growing every day, but it's different than the big groups. There's no bullying or anything like that. So if you're looking for a place to ask questions and learn about overlanding, that'd be a great place to start. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.